All right, so you're now at a point where you've knit. Hi, I'm Lindsay, the creative mind behind Doing the Most Design. Friend me on Ravelry at Lindsay DTMD. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for being here. So you're now at a point that you've crocheted the hem and you've crocheted the entirety of the torso. Now we need to think about moving into the bust band. If at this point you've made the hem a little roomy for you, which means also the torso is a little roomy for you, then this is what we're going to do in order to shrink up some of that space so that whenever you are wearing it, the bust band is getting right up underneath your girls. And then when we make the cups are going to come underneath you as opposed to sitting outside of you like a satellite in orbit. Okay. Is this euphemistic enough? I did one more crochet round, and this was round 2. As you can see, I have already slipped into the 3rd stitch at the top of another butterfly wing. And here we have the butterfly wings that are open. They have not been secured closed. So the following instructions are for if you have ended with round 2. But if I wanted to make this deeper and I continued on and maybe I ended with a round 4, the instructions are a little bit different. Check the pattern for the differences between that. So here what I want to do is chain 8. This is going to count as my first double crochet and the next chain 5. Then I want to do a double crochet wrap around the middle section of the butterfly wings. Then I will do another chain 5. I'm going to do a double crochet in the last double crochet of this wing. I'm going to do 3 double crochets inside this chain 5 space. I will do 3 double crochets in the next chain 5 space. And then I will do a double crochet on the right edge of this wing. And that is our repeat. Let's take a look at what it looks like without this starting chain here. We are going to, so we have this double crochet that's in the first double crochet of the previous round. Then we will chain 5. We will do a double crochet that wraps around the middle portion of this butterfly. And we're going to chain 5 again. Do a double crochet in the last double crochet of the previous round, 3 double crochets in both of these chain 5 spaces. And we're going to do a double crochet again in the very first double crochet of the next butterfly set of wings. So that helps us close up the butterflies from the previous 2 rounds. And then we now also are starting to get a flat line across the top of this torso piece. So right now what I'm going to do is finish this round, and then I'm going to catch up with you and we will continue working on the bust band together. I've crocheted all the way back to my beginning chain 8 space, which, as you can imagine, what we're going to do is find the third chain and do a slip stitch into that. Now what we want to do is an entire round of single crochets so that we really do have a very flat surface at the top of this cylinder, so to speak. You can't see any of the hand motions I'm doing, but trust me, they're informative. Okay, so for our chain 5 spaces, we are going to do 4 single crochets in the chain 5 spaces. For these double crochets that are cinching up the butterfly wings, we are skipping those. And then the double crochets that we worked into previous chain 5 spaces, we are going to now do a single crochet in every single one of those. To get started here, we will do a chain 1, and then we will get to work on these single crochets. I'm going to do this all the way around. I'll just speed it up and I'll see you on the other side, and I'll tell you what you need to do in order to make sure that this garment is tailored for your body in specific. See you in just a second. Hey, sorry to interrupt what you're making right now. I just want to say how much I appreciate you watching this video. You can show your appreciation for me making this video by either tipping me on Ko-Fi, the link is in the description box below, or liking, sharing, comment, and subscribing to my channel. Every little bit helps, and I really do appreciate it, especially if you don't have the resources to financially support my channel. Thanks so much, and on with the rest of your project. I've made it back to my beginning of round, and right here this is the chain 1. Here is my first stitch into this round, so I'm going to do a slip stitch right here. At this point, I'm going to put a marker in this work, and let's talk about what you need to do in order to make sure that the bust band is actually very snug for you. So I don't have any baby dolls or anything like that, so pardon me, but I'm going to be using this little plant pot as my visual aid. In short, what I'm going for here is the illustration that kind of up top is a little bit more narrow than at the bottom. So if you had any differential between your bust and your hips, you are this pot. All right, so setting this down, after you have done that round of single crochets, you need to actually put this sucker on. Now the single crochets, the way that we've done them, will suck up just a little bit of space, but they're not going to significantly reduce the number of stitches that are on the top. That means that what we need to think about is how many stitches do we need to reduce the bust band by so that it fits snugly underneath your giblets, all right? In order to do that, you're going to put it on. You're going to look down basically in between your own giblets and pinch off until it feels snug around your back and around your arms and wherever you want it to fit. So what we're going for is something that's like this. Right now, see that this band is very open. I can even curl it back. We don't want that. We want it to be snug to our body. Snug, but not uncomfortable. So once you have kind of got it where you want it, sit down. See if you can breathe in it still. If you can't, then loosen up just a little bit. Then right here where we have pinched off, you're going to count the number of stitches that are around here. So for me right now, let's see how many this will be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, roughly 16 stitches. Taking the garment off, you can maybe put a little bit of a note for yourself. You need to reduce by 16 stitches. Now, depending on your actual size, you may want to do 2 more rounds in which you reduce by 8 stitches each round. I think reducing 16 stitches in a single round is kind of a lot of reduction. So you can choose to split up that number that you need to reduce by over 2, 3, probably not more than 3 rounds, maybe 4 if you really want to. But that is what our next step is going to be. If you skip this step, then there's a very strong chance that when you make the cups, they're not going to sit underneath your chest. they're going to sit on top of your chest. And then if you kind of reach over the wrong way or you move your body a certain way, your chest is going to drop out of the cup. Those are the stakes, folks. Okay, so don't skip this step. This is going to be very, very necessary and useful. So for my little project right here, because I am using so few stitches to begin with and it's not like a full garment, I am not myself going to reduce by any stitches. Instead, what I want to do is show you what the next thing that you need to do is in order to know where you want to place your cups. So you will put this garment on again. You will look in a mirror straight forward and find where the center point of your own chest pieces are. And you will need to place a marker underneath basically the largest part of your breast on both sides. So I am going to, for the sake of argument, place those markers here and here. So be very careful, but you're going to be placing these. So basically right up here is where my chest would be, and then here's where the biggest part of my breast is / where my nipple is located. So I'm putting a marker directly underneath both of those places. These markers now represent the center points for the triangles that we're going to make for the cups. Keep that in mind. Take the garment off, put the garment face down, and square it off. Fold it in half and square it off so that you can see that the markers that you have are centered across the garment. So roughly about there. Then you're going to take 2 more markers and you will mirror the location in the back side of this bust band. So I'm doing that with these markers right here. These represent the center points for the straps whenever you add those. We're going to flip the garment back over. Now, instead of it being folded sort of crosswise our front, we now need to fold it so that it is crosswise the seam. And you need to line up these 2 markers that you put for the cups. Once you line these up, you will then see that there's a natural crease and sort of a middle point. I already sort of have my stitch marker in that point, but it's not exactly the midpoint. You will then place a marker right there. So roughly, you will have a marker that is the midpoint between the cups. Here's why we're doing that. As you are making the cups, you will grow out wider and wider and wider. If you have to make very large cups, eventually what will happen is that both of your cups will start to meet in the middle. Those triangles will meet in the middle, and they won't have anywhere to go in terms of growing. So what we want to make sure is that you don't have like the cups overlapping in the middle. And we need to know how far out from each of these midpoint markers here to go before we get into that overlapping position here. My pattern does have instructions for how to handle if the cups that you need to make are so large that they would naturally overlap in the center. I'm not going to be showing the videos here for that, but just keep in mind that, that can happen too. All right, so at this point, we want to start making the cups for this garment. And it is so simplistic to make those cups, so check out that video next. Thanks for making it to the end of this video. If you have not done it yet, hit like and subscribe so you can be notified when I put out more content for you. I'd love for you to connect with me on Ravelry at Lindsay DTMD. Check out my link tree for a collection of my projects. And if you're able to, leave a cash tip for me at my Ko-Fi page. All links are in the video description below. Don't forget to be kind to yourself as you learn, and thanks for spending your time with me. Bye!